In the heart of Boston, where history and creativity intertwine, stands one of the most remarkable museums in the world, the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, a place where art from every corner of the globe comes together, telling stories that span thousands of years. Morning light spills across the skyline of Boston. The first rays of the sun paint the city in soft gold, awakening its streets, buildings, and spirit. From the calm waters of the Charles River to the towering glass of downtown, the city begins to breathe. The ripples on the river shimmer like liquid sunlight, while the bridges that span across it glow with warmth. Rowers move gracefully through the mist, their silhouettes cutting through the dawn, steady and serene. As the light climbs higher, it touches the rooftops of Back Bay, rows of elegant brownstones that have watched over the city for more than a century. The air is filled with quiet motion, the distant rumble of a train, the whisper of the wind through trees, the faint rhythm of footsteps on cobblestone streets. Boston is waking up, its heart beating softly to the rhythm of a new day. In the distance, the golden dome of the Massachusetts State House catches the morning light, shining proudly over the city it has guided for generations. Nearby, the historic avenues begin to stir. Huntington Avenue, often called the Avenue of the Arts, comes alive once more. And there, standing gracefully along its path, lies a true symbol of culture, history, and imagination, the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. Its grand columns rise toward the sky, dignified and strong, a reminder of Boston's deep connection to art and knowledge. The building glows softly in the sunlight, its marble surface warmed by the new day, though silent from the outside. Within its walls rests a world of color, creativity, and emotion, a universe of human stories waiting to be discovered. Every stone of the museum seems to hold a whisper from the past. Every shadow cast by its arches hints at the masterpieces that live inside. Here, art is not only preserved, it is celebrated. It connects centuries, continents, and cultures, reminding us that beauty belongs to everyone and that imagination knows no borders. As the city fully awakens, the Museum of Fine Arts stands as both a guardian of history and a gateway to inspiration. For over 100 years, it has watched the world change around it, and yet, within its halls, time itself seems to pause. The morning sun continues its climb, bathing the museum in brilliant light. Boston's day has begun, and so too begins our journey into the heart of one of America's greatest cultural treasures, the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. The story of the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, begins in the heart of the 19th century, a time when America was growing, learning, and reaching for its cultural identity. In 1870, a small group of visionaries, artists, and scholars came together with a dream to create a place where art from every corner of the world could be studied, shared, and celebrated. Boston, already known as the Athens of America, was a city rich in learning and literature. It was home to great universities, libraries, and institutions of science. But something was missing: a temple of art, a place where beauty and creativity could live side by side with knowledge and reason. From this vision, the Museum of Fine Arts was born. The museum first opened its doors in 1876, inside a modest red brick building on Copley Square. It was far smaller than the grand structure we know today, but it was filled with passion and purpose. Inside those early galleries were just 5,600 works of art, paintings, sculptures, and artifacts carefully chosen to inspire and educate. Visitors walked slowly through quiet rooms, surrounded by pieces from distant lands and ancient times. For many, it was their first glimpse into the wider world of art. Boston embraced the museum with pride. Artists found inspiration there, students came to learn, and travelers from far away discovered a new cultural landmark. The museum quickly became a living classroom, a place where people could experience history not through words, but through the touch of a brushstroke, the curve of a sculpture, or the sparkle of ancient gold. But the founders' vision did not stop there. They dreamed of something greater, a museum that would grow with time, expand its reach, and stand among the world's finest. And so, with determination and ambition, the collection continued to grow. Donations poured in from collectors, scholars, and travelers who believed in the museum's mission. Artworks arrived from Egypt, Greece, Japan, and Europe, each piece adding to the story of humanity told through art. By the dawn of the 20th century, the little museum on Copley Square could no longer contain its expanding treasures. The city needed something grander, a new home for its art, one that reflected Boston's spirit in its growing place in the world of culture. And so, plans began for a magnificent new building, a museum that would stand not just as a gallery, but as a symbol of Boston's devotion to art, education, and history. A place where the legacy of creativity would live on for generations to come. The foundation was laid, and with it began the transformation of the Museum of Fine Arts from a small, hopeful institution into one of the world's greatest museums. The new home of the Museum of Fine Arts rose along Huntington Avenue, in the heart of Boston's growing cultural district. When it opened its doors in 1909, it was more than just a building. It was a statement, a declaration that art was not a luxury, but a necessity. Not a privilege, but a shared treasure for all. Designed in a neoclassical style, the museum stands as a temple of light and balance. Massive stone columns rise at the entrance, evoking the grandeur of ancient Greece and Rome, civilizations that themselves laid the foundations of art and beauty. The symmetry of its architecture reflects a harmony between strength and grace, between tradition and innovation. As visitors step through the grand bronze doors, they enter a world that feels both timeless and alive. The rotunda, with its sweeping marble staircase and high vaulted ceiling, welcomes guests with quiet majesty. Soft light filters in from above, illuminating the walls where art from centuries past now lives in peace. Every echo of a footstep, every gentle murmur of admiration, seems to honor the artists whose work fills these halls. The building itself feels like a journey. Each gallery flows into the next, connecting different eras and cultures as though they were pages in a single, endless story. In one direction, ancient relics whisper of forgotten kingdoms. In another, bright canvases reveal the colors of modern life. The museum's architecture was designed to encourage this kind of exploration, to lead visitors not just through space, but through time. Over the decades, the Museum of Fine Arts has continued to grow and evolve, always respecting its past while embracing the future. New wings and expansions have blended seamlessly with the original structure, adding modern light and space without losing the building's soul. Among these, the Art of the Americas wing, opened in 2010, stands as a symbol of the museum's living legacy, a bridge between history and the present day. Outside, the museum's setting reflects the spirit of Boston itself. It sits proudly on the Avenue of the Arts, surrounded by institutions of music, learning, and design. The green lawns, fountains, and sculptures around the museum invite visitors to pause, reflect, and breathe in the quiet dignity of the space. In every season, the museum changes, with the city blanketed in snow in winter, glowing beneath blossoms in spring, golden under the autumn leaves. The Museum of Fine Arts is not just a place to see art, it is art. Its walls hold not only masterpieces of paint and stone, but the spirit of creativity itself. Here, architecture becomes poetry. Every corridor, every window, every quiet corner is a reminder that beauty is not confined to a frame. It can live in the very space around us. As the day brightens over Boston, light streams through the museum's great windows, spilling across marble floors and ancient sculptures. And in that light, the museum seems to breathe a living monument to the power of imagination. Built by the hands of generations who believed that art could uplift the human soul. Step beyond the grand halls of marble and light, and you enter another world, a place where time itself seems to slow, and history breathes softly through the still air. Here, in the shadowed galleries of the Museum of Fine Arts, lies one of the most remarkable collections of ancient Egyptian art in the Western world. The museum's journey into Egypt began in the late 1800s, when Boston scholars and archaeologists joined international expeditions along the Nile. Their discoveries, made with care and respect, brought back not just treasures, but pieces of human history that had slept beneath the sands for thousands of years. Today, those discoveries live on within these quiet halls, preserved, studied, and admired by millions. The galleries glow in soft golden light, echoing the warmth of the desert sun. Stone statues stand in silent dignity, their eyes carved with eternal calm. They represent gods, kings, and queens, divine figures of power and mystery who once ruled the land of the Nile. Each sculpture tells a story of belief, of beauty, of life after death. Nearby, painted coffins and mummies lie within glass cases, their intricate patterns and hieroglyphs still vivid after millennia. The ancient Egyptians believed in eternity, in the continuation of the soul beyond this life, and their art was a bridge between the world of the living and the realm of the divine. As you walk among these artifacts, you can almost feel that sense of faith and wonder that shaped their world. Delicate jewelry, made of gold and lapis lazuli, sparkles softly under the lights, their craftsmanship as precise and beautiful as when they adorned the necks of pharaohs and queens. Nearby, small everyday objects, a comb, a vessel, a child's toy remind us that behind the grandeur of history were real people, whose lives, hopes, and loves were not so different from our own. One of the museum's most striking pieces is the bust of Gogh, a masterpiece of ancient portraiture. From around 2500 BC, his expression is serene but filled with emotion, not the face of a god, but of a man who once lived, worked, and dreamed. It's a reminder that art has always been the most human of legacies, a way to speak across time, long after words are forgotten. The Museum of Fine Arts' Egyptian collection spans more than 5,000 years of history. From the earliest dynasties to the Roman period, it's not just a display of artifacts, it's a chronicle of civilization itself. A mirror reflecting humanity's eternal search for meaning and beauty. As visitors wander through these silent corridors, they walk beside the past. Every sculpture, every symbol, every piece of painted linen holds a story older than cities, older than nations, a story of people who believed in eternity, and who left behind a world of art to prove it. And in this museum, beneath the quiet lights of Boston, those voices from the desert still speak, clear and timeless, reminding us that even as empires fade, art endures forever. From the sands of Egypt, we cross oceans and centuries to enter a different realm of beauty and spirit, the world of Asian art. Within these tranquil galleries of the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, the air feels calm, almost sacred, as if the space itself has learned to breathe with the rhythm of ancient wisdom. The Asian Art Wing is one of the museum's most celebrated treasures. Home to more than 100,000 works from across the continent, it is not simply a collection, it is a journey through cultures that have shaped art, philosophy, and faith for thousands of years. The path begins in East Asia, where Japan, China, and Korea reveal their stories through color, texture, and silence. In one gallery, delicate Japanese folding screens unfold like poetry painted on silk, gold leaf glimmers in the soft light, and the scenes of mountains, rivers, and cherry blossoms whisper of harmony between nature and the human soul. Nearby, samurai armor gleams with intricate design, its beauty rivaling its strength. Every curve of metal, every brushstroke on a scroll, speaks of a culture that finds grace and precision. In the Chinese galleries, time seems infinite. Here stand ancient bronze vessels from dynasties long past, their surfaces marked by age, yet still proud and strong. Magnificent ceramics and porcelain line the cases, their glazes as luminous today as when they left the kilns of Jingdezhen centuries ago. Calligraphy scrolls hang with quiet authority, each character alive with the energy of the artist's hand, a reminder that in China, writing itself is an art form, where meaning and beauty are one and the same. Moving south and west, the journey continues into India and Southeast Asia, where art becomes a language of faith and devotion. Carved stone and bronze sculptures of deities fill the rooms, Vishnu, Shiva, and the serene face of the Buddha, each radiating a deep sense of peace and spirituality. These works are not merely images, they are symbols of cosmic balance, expressions of human connection to the divine. In one corner, a Thai Buddha sits in meditation, eyes closed, hands resting gently in the mudra of enlightenment. The stillness around it seems to quiet every thought, drawing the visitor inward, a moment of reflection amidst the endless noise of the modern world. The MFA's Asian collection reaches beyond beauty. It is about understanding. It shows how art reflects philosophy, how simplicity can hold complexity, and how each civilization sought its own way to express truth through form and color. For Boston, a city far from the mountains of Kyoto or the temples of Angkor, these galleries are windows into distant worlds, worlds that, through art, no longer feel so distant. They remind us that creativity is universal, that beauty speaks every language, and that across the vastness of continents, human beings have always shared one common desire: to create something lasting, something sacred, something beautiful. Here, in the Museum of Fine Arts, the spirit of Asia lives quiet, eternal, and full of light. Beyond the calm serenity of Asia's galleries, another world awaits, a world alive with light, color, and human emotion. This is Europe, where art became the mirror of the human soul, and where the hands of countless masters shaped history through paint and stone. Inside the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, the European galleries unfold like a grand story, a journey through centuries of creativity. From the sacred beauty of the Middle Ages to the vibrant freedom of Impressionism, each room tells a chapter, each canvas a confession of genius. The story begins with Renaissance art, where Europe's rebirth of knowledge and beauty first took form. Here, the divine and the human are woven together in perfect harmony. Paintings glow with gold leaf and sacred imagery, angels, saints, and kings, their faces serene yet filled with life. It was an age when art sought to glorify both heaven and humanity, a balance that shaped Western art forever. As time moves forward, the galleries burst into richness and drama, the Baroque period, where emotion and movement came alive. Brushstrokes swirl, light and shadow dance across the canvases. Artists like Rembrandt, Rubens, and Velázquez used paint not merely to show, but to feel. In Rembrandt's portraits, the eyes of strangers seem to know us. In Rubens' mythological scenes, the air seems to tremble with passion and energy. These works remind us that art is not silent, it speaks in light, texture, and soul. Then comes a new dawn, the age of Impressionism, where artists broke free from tradition to capture the fleeting beauty of the world. The Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, holds one of the finest Impressionist collections in America, featuring works by Claude Monet, Edgar Degas, and Vincent van Gogh. Each painting feels alive. Like a breath of fresh air, Monet's landscapes shimmer with sunlight and color, brushstrokes that seem to move with the breeze. Degas captures dancers in motion, moments frozen in elegance and grace. Renoir paints joy itself, soft faces, warm light, laughter on canvas. And then, there is Van Gogh, whose swirling skies and blazing stars seem to come from the heart of emotion itself, a reminder that even in struggle, beauty can burn bright. The European galleries are not just a collection, they are an experience of humanity. You can walk from Italy to France, from Holland to Spain, in a matter of steps, and yet feel centuries of culture unfold before your eyes. Each masterpiece here holds a piece of our collective soul, the tender expression of a mother and child, the quiet reflection of a landscape, the storm of emotion in a portrait. All of it reveals who we are, who we have been, and what we continue to seek. As you walk through these rooms, surrounded by the greatest names in art, you feel both small and infinite, reminded that the human spirit, no matter the century or the place, has always found its truest voice in the language of art. Here, in the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, Europe's artistic heritage lives on, not as a relic of the past, but as a living heartbeat that still inspires the world today. From the elegance of Europe, the journey now returns home to the story of America, told through the eyes, hands, and hearts of its artists. In the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, the art of the America's wing stands as a tribute to the nation's creative soul. Here, every brushstroke, every sculpture, every crafted detail tells a story of discovery, struggle, independence, and hope. The galleries open with portraits from colonial America, when the young nation was still finding its identity. Painters like John Singleton Copley captured the strength and dignity of Boston's early citizens, merchants, ministers, and revolutionaries who helped shape the future of a new world. Their faces, rendered in precise detail, reveal pride, ambition, and resilience, the same qualities that built both a country and its culture. As visitors move forward in time, the art begins to change, reflecting the shifting landscapes of a growing nation. In one room, luminous Hudson River School paintings stretch across the walls, depicting vast mountains, glowing sunsets, and rivers winding through untouched wilderness. Artists like Thomas Cole and Frederick Edwin Church sought to capture the grandeur of nature itself, believing that the American landscape was not just scenery, but a sacred reflection of freedom. Nearby, paintings from the 19th century reveal a more complex, emotional vision of America. Scenes of daily life, families, farms, and cities show a nation balancing between tradition and progress. Every artwork feels like a window into a moment of transformation, the story of a people building their own sense of beauty. Independent yet deeply inspired by the world around them, the 20th century galleries bring new voices, new ideas, and new energy. Here, art becomes bold, experimental, and diverse, reflecting the turbulence and triumphs of modern life. Abstract forms, social commentary, and vivid colors fill the rooms, revealing how artists confronted change, conflict, and innovation. The collection honors American artists from every background, from Georgia O'Keeffe's quiet, meditative landscapes to Winslow Homer's powerful seascapes of Maine, filled with wind and motion. From Edward Hopper's haunting urban solitude to the modern expressions of African American, indigenous, and immigrant artists, whose works give voice to stories once overlooked, now celebrated in full light. Together, they tell a single, powerful story that American art is not defined by one style or voice, but by the diversity of its people and the endless search for meaning, identity, and freedom. As sunlight pours through the tall windows of the art of the America's wing, the paintings seem to glow with life. They are not just images on a wall, they are pieces of a nation's memory. They remind us that art in America has always been a reflection of its spirit, restless, creative, and unafraid to dream. Here, in the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, the American story continues to unfold, a living testament to the courage, imagination, and heart of a people who dared to create their own beauty. The story of art does not end with the past, it continues to grow, shift, and transform with every new generation. Within the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, the modern and contemporary galleries stand as a testament to this evolution, a space where imagination breaks free from boundaries and explores the unknown. Here, color explodes from every wall. Shapes twist, collide, and reassemble into something entirely new. The calm, classical balance of earlier centuries gives way to bold experimentation, where emotion, abstraction, and innovation take center stage. Paintings by Jackson Pollock seem alive with motion, a whirlwind of energy splattered across vast canvases, capturing the chaos and rhythm of the modern age. Nearby, the soft, dreamlike color fields of Mark Rothko invite silence and contemplation, drawing viewers inward, into the emotional core of color itself. The works of Andy Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein reflect a world transformed by media and mass culture, bright, iconic, and provocative. Their art captures the voice of a new America, one fascinated by fame, technology, and the blur between art and everyday life. Sculptures rise from the floors like visions from another dimension, metal, glass, fabric, and light merging in unexpected harmony. Every piece challenges perception, asking viewers not just to look, but to feel, to think, to question what art can be. In one gallery, a massive installation plays with light and shadow, turning the space itself into a living artwork. Visitors move through it slowly, becoming part of the art, their reflections, their movements, their thoughts, completing the experience. The MFA's contemporary collection celebrates diversity voices from across the world, across time, and across culture. Artists from every background explore identity, social change, and the power of expression. Their works speak of global issues, climate, race, equality, technology, and remind us that art is not only about beauty, but also about truth and courage. Digital art, photography, and film add new dimensions to the experience. Screens flicker with experimental videos. Sound installations fill quiet rooms with echoes of the modern world. Each piece reminds visitors that art continues to evolve, that creativity never stops growing, only changing shape. The modern galleries at the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, are not just a reflection of the world as it is, they are a vision of what it could be. They invite us to dream, to imagine, and to see the familiar in new ways. In this place, art becomes an ongoing conversation between past and present, between tradition and innovation, silence and noise, simplicity and chaos. Here, the museum's heart beats with the rhythm of the modern world, vibrant, diverse, and alive with endless possibility. The Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, is more than a gallery, it is a world within walls. Step through its corridors, and you travel across continents and centuries. Every gallery opens a new chapter in the story of humanity, a story told through stone, canvas, metal, and memory. Here, art from Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas stands side by side, not in competition, but in conversation. The museum becomes a global dialogue, a bridge between cultures, where every artifact, every painting, every sculpture speaks its own language of beauty and truth. In the Asian art galleries, ancient bronzes from China glimmer under soft light. Delicate Japanese scrolls unfold scenes of poetry and nature, while serene Buddhist statues radiate peace and balance. Each piece whispers the wisdom of centuries, the artistry of hands guided by faith, philosophy, and devotion. A few steps away, the Egyptian wing transports visitors into a world of kings and eternity. Massive stone, sarcophagi, hieroglyphs, and golden amulets tell the story of life beyond life, the eternal journey of the human spirit. The quiet of the room feels sacred, as if time itself pauses in reverence. In another gallery, African masks and sculptures pulse with rhythm and spirit. Carved from wood and metal, adorned with beads and color, they carry the heartbeat of communities, rituals, and ancestors. Their power is not just visual, it is alive, vibrant, and deeply human. Nearby, the Islamic art collection glows with geometry and grace, intricate patterns woven into carpets, calligraphy, and tiles that seem to move like flowing water. Each design reflects harmony, balance, and the infinite, a reminder that beauty itself can be a form of devotion. And throughout the museum, European art continues to tell its own story, from the sacred altarpieces of the Middle Ages to the elegance of Renaissance masters, to the soft impressionist light of Monet, Renoir, and Van Gogh. Every canvas is a window into the dreams and struggles of humanity's shared past. Walking through these spaces feels like traveling across civilization's a journey that connects the heart of Boston with the soul of the entire world. It reminds us that while art may come from different lands, languages, and beliefs, its message is universal, the desire to create, to remember, and to express what words cannot. Here, inside the Museum of Fine Arts, cultures meet and mingle in quiet harmony, their voices blending into one timeless song of creativity and connection. The world outside the museum may be divided by borders, but within these walls, humanity stands together, united by the shared power of art. As the day draws to a close over Boston, the Museum of Fine Arts stands in quiet majesty, its walls glowing softly in the golden light of afternoon. The city hums outside, but within these halls, time seems to pause. Every painting, sculpture, and artifact holds a story of creativity, imagination, and the enduring power of human expression. For over 150 years, the MFA has welcomed visitors from all walks of life. It has preserved treasures from every corner of the globe, and yet it is more than a museum, it is a bridge between generations. The works here connect us to those who came before, and inspire those who will come after. Walking through the galleries, one feels the pulse of history, from the pharaohs of Egypt to the samurai of Japan, from Renaissance masters to modern visionaries. The museum captures the essence of human aspiration. It reminds us that no matter the era, no matter the culture, art is a reflection of our shared humanity. The MFA is also a living institution, a place of learning, exploration, and community. Students sketch in its galleries, families pause to admire masterpieces, and artists find inspiration in every corner. Its legacy is not confined to the objects it preserves, but in the moments it sparks, the curiosity it awakens, the emotions it evokes, the conversations it begins. As sunlight fades and shadows stretch across the museum's grand halls, there is a sense of reverence for what has been achieved here. Yet there is also anticipation for what will come next. For every work of art, every donation, every new exhibition continues the story, ensuring that the museum remains vibrant, alive, and ever-evolving. The Museum of Fine Arts, Boston, is more than a building. It is a testament to imagination, a sanctuary for beauty, and a home for creativity. It reminds us that art is timeless, that it can inspire, challenge, and uplift us across centuries and continents. As visitors leave its halls, carrying memories of what they have seen, they take with them a piece of the museum's spirit, the quiet assurance that human creativity endures, that our capacity for wonder is infinite, and that the legacy of art is a gift meant to be shared, cherished, and celebrated. In Boston's heart, the Museum of Fine Arts continues to shine, a beacon of culture, history, and inspiration. And for anyone who walks through its doors, it is a reminder that the story of humanity is, above all, a story of imagination.